Welcome to the Bill Cartwright Show with Steve Cohen. Our special guest today is a poet, is a great actor, and he is a USF Dons alumnus, Sinqua Walls. We are so pleased.
I'm honored to be here, man. I'm honored to be here.
And we're so pleased to have you on our show. This is the first. You are in this arena our biggest star. So we're very. Steve thinks he is, but no. But
I'll take it. But I don't know if I earned it, but I'll take
it. You really are. We're really happy, really proud of you for what you've accomplished. And I just want to talk about where you grew up. I want you to talk a little bit about mom and dad.
Yeah. And so I'm a kid who grew up in the Crenshaw district in Los Angeles. And I honestly say, like, I'm so grateful for that experience because it gave me a foundation of hard work. It gave me a foundation of authenticity and integrity. You know, at the end of the day, being from that environment, you just learn to kind of mean what you say and say what you mean. And I can say that my parents definitely always instilled that in me to be a person of integrity. I was talking about earlier, actually, how my mom always said, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And she was very emphatic about being someone that you could walk out the door and be proud of, but not just, to my family representing them, but to myself. And so that foundation, that structure, those people in my life, that village that helped raise me was so indicative of the man that you have in front of you now, from top to bottom, not just in the industry, but also outside of it.
Now, did you have siblings growing up?
I did. I have a brother and I have a sister. And I had a few step siblings along the way as well. And I'm always, it was a village, and I'm always so excited to connect with all of them. I'm always appreciative. My sister is actually the connector. So she's really, really good at being the organizer, the multitasker, which you guys can probably speak to. It's like, you text me and I'll be like, sure. And then, 2 weeks later, like, what were we talking? What were we talking about? So she's always the one to keep us all organized, keep us on a sibling group chat, make time for all of us to connect. And I love them so much that they've all been so impactful in my steps.
Now, growing up, it looks like apparently you were a really good athlete. Can you talk about always? Is that right?
I said I was decent. I wasn't Bill Cartwright, but I was decent. You know what I mean?
Well, I was tall. I'm not sure I was an athlete. But can you talk about that? How? What kind of kid were you growing up in high school, and who really introduced you to sports?
Yeah, you know what? Oh man. I was a guy, like they always say, and Bill, you could probably speak to this too. They say, like, there's this quote that says, how you do one thing is how you do everything. But then there's also an idea that how you play basketball tells you how you live your life too. And I was a dude that just wanted to win. I didn't really care about any of the other factors. I didn't care about who was on my team. My goal, or who had the most points on the team. It was never to me about, I needed to score 30 or score 20. That sometimes that happened, but it was really like, let's stay on the court, let's play, let's win. And that was in every sport, whether it was soccer, whether it was baseball, football. I just really enjoyed the experience of everyone collectively coming together to accomplish a goal and winning. So I was that kind of guy where it was like, let's just be successful. And if you talk to anyone who knows me as an adult in life, I'm always like, whatever you do, just try to be the best at it, or just try to make sure you maximize your potential. And that's kind of always been my goal. And it was the introduction to it was probably just growing up in a neighborhood where everyone just was active. We had enough kids that were older than us. My younger group of friends, we had enough older kids that also lived on the block as well that played sports. So what they were doing, we wanted to do, and whatever they did, we did. So if everyone was going to the park, whatever sport that was that day, that's what we played. And then, as you get older, you start to realize, maybe I'm a little good at it, or maybe I have some athleticism or whatever that is. But really it was just making friends, being in the community, and just doing what everybody else was doing was really the focus and the goal.
You really talk about your high school coach and the influence that he had, and then talk about how you ended up Cal Poly, and then how in the world you end up in San Francisco.
Right. Man, you know what? I'll say collective of coaches because I think I come from the era, probably in the era right before me, but my era was really emphatic on like AAU basketball. And that was when AAU basketball really took its life of building the bridge to your future in terms of what basketball was or was going to be for you. And I had a lot of different coaches who taught me some really great lessons. I had a coach once who said, if you're not considered a pro prospect by the time you're entering in your junior year, quit because there's no future in it. And I wasn't considered one, so I started to focus on acting. I had a coach who always said, work harder than the next man. And then I had a coach who only listened to country music. So then on road trips, so after a while, I started listening to country music. I listened to hip hop, I listened to R&B, old school, Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye. And then I put on some country because of all that. So again, the collective, and I always just understood like the village that raises you. And I was grateful because my stepdad was a Don before me. So when I had the opportunity to say, like, where could I continue to my scholastic endeavors and basketball and USF was one of those options. I have such a respect for my stepfather and my own father, but I have such a respect for my stepfather and the man that he is and the steps that he takes to walk every day. And just knowing that was a part of his alchemy was San Francisco and USF and how highly he spoke about it. It just gave me enough, and it had enough of a city vibe that, I'm a city guy, so I enjoyed being in a city that was very vibrant.
Hey, who was the coach at USF when you went there?
So when I first got there, it was Phil Matthews, and then shortly after, Jessie Evans became the coach.
Yeah, those are two different personalities. I
Very,
understand.
very different. Very different, very different philosophies. And I think, like life, it taught me so much about the perspective of life. Like, all you can do is consistently be your best, try to give everything you can, and things are going to shift around you, and you just have to be malleable to those shifts and adjust. And understand that everyone has a philosophy. And looking at film sometimes, what I'm appreciative for when I walk into a project is I never approach one project like the last project, only using the lessons from each project and then walking in each time and going, what is this? What is this going to be? How do I find similarities? And then how do I move organically as me within all of them?
Well, on that, hey, can you talk about some of your teammates there and tell me some of the lessons that you learned while you were at USF? Well, those are all very, very good players. You know, so you're a senior now, and you were a good student. So, what do you think in your senior year? Did you have a vision of what you wanted to do as you're leaving USF? So, talk about your first big break. Oh, I'm talking about the first time you got a job. Oh, yeah. So let me ask you, how does something like that happen? Who gave you the guidance to to show you the way? So as an athlete, you have an advantage. Like I was a scorer, could defend a little bit. So what's your advantage as an actor? What do you do better than anybody else? Oh yeah. Okay. Tell me about your first big break. Big movie. Big movie. talk about who are some of the more talented people that you've worked with so far? That's awesome. So, what is your dream job right now? What's your dream movie? Who would you want to work with? So do you want to be known for working for on TV, or do you want to be movies? Oh, that's done. Well, we get that done easy. Not sure. I'm not sure that's the game you want to be in. Yeah, that's smart. You know, that's interesting. Do you think that's because of the hard work, or are some people just blessed to be able to have those abilities, or is it both? Sinqua, we are so pleased to have you in our show. We thank you so much. I'm looking forward to not only seeing you, but who knows, maybe we're going to get you two down to a game this year. We'd be very excited. We'll make sure we get that done. But thanks a lot. This is awesome.